Breathe your right leg up. And then step it forward for a low lunge. Half split, drop your back knee down, straighten your right leg, and fold your chest into your right leg. If you want more hamstring stretch, you can curl up your right toes and flex your right foot. If that's intense, then keep the sole of the right foot on the ground. And then keep spiraling left ribs in towards the right thigh a little more. Good, and breathe fully into the back of the heart. Let the belly drop more as the heart curls forward towards the right toes. Great, low lunge, rebend your front knee, straddle fold, Prasarita Padottanasana once again. Big toes in, heels out, drop your head here. Nice. Now you can crawl your hands through between the ankles and reach the fingertips towards the opposite direction. Or if it's in your practice the headstand, you can invert here. Make sure you can see your hands. You create a tripod through the soles of the hands. And then you can straddle your way up. The legs might lift, right? And be really patient with yourself if you're newer to headstanding. Maybe it's just taking the knees up into the chest rather than all the way. Good. Find your way back down. Half lift, breathe in, everybody. Skandasana, bend your left knee, straighten your front leg, and then crawl your way forward, low lunge. Nice, back heel spins up now. Drop your left knee down, point left toes, crescent lunge, Anjaneyasana, arms up by the ears. A deep lunge into the front knee, reach up through the fingers and curl your chest up. You can stay here with the arms up, or if you have any kind of arm variations, if you like to mermaid bind, you can take that. If you like to interlace your hands behind the back, send the fist down the leg, then do that. Otherwise, if this becomes intense, hands can even come to the tops of the thighs here and support, and that'll help you get the lift of the chest even more. Good. Free up your hands on down to the mat. Low lunge once again. Pick up the back knee. Standing split, reach your hands forward. Lift your left leg straight up towards the ceiling, towards the sky as you fold yourself down into your right leg. Now you can stay here, or of course you always have choices. Those that like to fly, you can take this time to take a few handstand hops. If you want to challenge your balance, you can take one hand to your standing ankle or both. If you want to get even more into the hips, let's take the bind. Left arm will tent out diagonally so it's strong and straight. Bend your left knee and then bind your right hand to the top of your left foot. Fold your chest on down. And then those where this bind is super easy, if you want to go further because you have the hip mobility, the right arm's going to go on the inside of the right thigh, take the bind, and then open. So then your right tricep is pressing into the inner right thigh. Keep lifting the left knee up towards the sky. Left arm keeps tensing you up. Amazing. Release your hands, feet, whatever you went for. Step your left foot as wide as the mat on the left side. Step your right foot as wide as the mat. Toes out, heels in, yogi squat malasana. Prayer your hands at your heart here. And if this is too much, then the hips will stay higher, or you can slide some blocks underneath your seat here. And now you want to make sure your heels are down on the ground. So if they're not, then step your feet even wider off of the mat. The elbows press back into the inner thighs to help you open. You can stay with the prayer, or you can take the bind of the malasana. Right fingertips will tent to the ground, left arm up. Half bind, left hand drops to your low back. Full bind, right arm drops, binds behind you to the left fingertips. And then there'll be a tendency where the weight will shift over to the right foot. So realign and see if you can evenly distribute the weight between both heels. Chin is sneaking towards the left shoulder. Breathe generously. Squeeze your sitting bones in together so we don't just collapse on down. Good. Fingertips release to the ground. Toes turn forward, but they're still wide. Bend your knees enough that you can take a little L hook of your hands and hook them behind your ankles or your calves. Shoulders on the inside of the knees, and drop your head as you clamp your knees into your shoulders. Those that want to take firefly arm balance, Titibhasana, this is your opportunity. So you can stay here folded, or you'll take your fingertips to the ground behind you, maybe on blocks. Sink your hips back. Look forward, and then lift your legs off the ground. Now you're clamping in into the legs a lot. Toes are pointing forward, butt is stretching back as much as you can. Different variations, different places you can be, or you can just stay here in your fold. Nice. And if you're in the fold, just keep reaching the seat up as the head drops down. If you took flight, put your feet back down. Everybody free up your hands. Half lift, breathe in. Walk or jump your way back, plank to chaturanga. Flow through it your way. We'll meet each other back in Adho Mukha Svanasana. Left side, send your left leg up. Inhale. Low lunge, step your way forward. Drop your back knee down for your half split. Straighten your front leg and fold yourself in half. Flex the front foot if you did so on the other side. Hug the outer right hip back into the center of the mat. See if you can let the belly button drop more towards the left thigh. Feel the stretch into the left hamstring. Good. Rebend. Low lunge. Straddle fold. Prasarita. Padottanasana. Turn your toes in, heels out. As you face the long side of your mat, drop your head in. Hands can crawl through, reaching in the opposite directions. Or those that want to take flight again and take their headstand, Sirsasana, go ahead and choose that. If you're near to the practice and need the safety of a wall behind you, then take time to go give yourself that. You're in the straddle fold. Keep pressing the heels away from one another. You stretch the mat in two directions. If you're upside down, bring your feet back down to the earth. Everybody half lift, breathe in. Skandasana, bend your right knee, straighten your left leg. Low lunge, crawl your way forward, back heel rotates up. Drop your back knee for your crescent lunge, Anjaneyasana. Point the right toes back. Let the pelvis get heavy here as it descends, but then let the heart and the fingers reach up. Any arm variations that you took on the other side. If you took the bind and the mermaid, or interlace the hands in any way, or support it at the front leg, keep that symmetry and equanimity in both sides. Good, and then see if you can bend the left knee even more so you really get into the left hip. Super. Hands on down to the ground. Tuck your back toes under. Curl the right knee up. Standing split. Reach your hands forward. Launch off the back foot and fold your way into your left leg. Take a few breaths here, opening into left hamstring and into the hips. And then choose your variations. Once again, if you took inversions, you can take a few hops here. If you challenge the balance by taking one hand to your standing ankle or both, then explore that. And then, of course, those that took the bind, this time right arm tense long, right knee bends, left hand reaches up for the top of the foot. That's the first variation of the bind. If this one's really easy and open, change the left arm to the inside of your left leg, grab underneath you for the foot, and then reopen. A deeper hip opening is required for this second variation, right? And you're still winging your hips open to the right side as you lift up through the right knee. And the right ankle is squeezing down, almost like that side scorpion that we started with in the beginning of class. Good. Unwind yourself from whatever it is that you're working on. Step your right foot as wide as the mat, left foot as wide as the mat. Yogi squat, heels in, toes out. Hands pair at the heart. Adjust and readjust the feet wider or higher as you need. Keep the chest upright. So if you notice that you're curling down and the belly is scooped back like so, lift the hips higher or step your feet wider, right? So we want to create the length in the spine and the openness of the chest in this shape. If you're binding, left fingertips to the ground, right arm up. Half bind, right hand low back. Full bind, left hand will grab behind you. Redistribute the weight evenly into the right foot once again after you've taken the bind so that we're not just hanging out in the left foot. You can let the eyes shut.
tuck the chin in towards the right shoulder. Press back into the left inner thigh with your left tricep. Give yourself that assist. Keep winging the right knee back at the same time. Good. Free up your hands. Toes turned forward. One more time, hook your hands behind the calves or the ankles. Flybirds are going into their firefly Tittibhasana once again. Or you could even play with crow pose here if you're newer to arm balance, right? Still a neutral arm balance, even on both sides. So you can take it just on one side if you want. Knees to the back of the triceps. Toes float off the ground. Hands are shoulders width. Spread your fingers wide. Cup the palms away from the ground as you press down into the fingertips, and then scoop your belly up. Press into the fingers even more. And then wherever you are, you're going to walk or jump your way back. Plank to chaturanga. And go ahead and flow through it your way. Down dog is where we're going to meet back up. Good. Right leg up. Lizard pose. Step your right foot outside your right hand. Drop the back knee down, point the left toes. You can stay upright if this is already an intense stretch. Otherwise, drop onto your forearms. Keep the chest rolling open as you look forward to the fingertips. Let the pelvis get heavy. You should feel a really deep stretch into the right hip here. You can close the eyes again and take that inner gaze to the hips and just observe what's happening there. Second chakra, place of emotions, place of our sensuality, place of feeling good, having fun, going with the flow, just pure enjoyment, the luxuriousness of life. You can stay here, or if you want to go further, let's go ahead and bind. You can press the right knee away first, roll onto the outer blade here of your right foot, bend your back knee, reach back for the foot. If this is too much, take your left palm to the ground instead of the left forearm. Find the twist here in your lizard. Good, and then free it up. Tuck your back toes under. Straighten both legs. You need to hop the back foot in, so it's a pyramid pose. Hands are still on the inside of the right foot here, so it's a wider pyramid pose than we might usually take. Think about the inner thighs spiraling inwards even more. Rebend right knee, step it back, down dog or plank pose for your chaturanga. If you need a vinyasa between sides, go ahead and take it. If you don't, come right into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Left side, fly your left heel up as you take a full breath in, and then step it wide outside of your left hand. Set it up. So let it be a really wide lunge. You want the left knee to be over the heel if you can. Drop the back knee down. Stay upright on fingertips or come onto your forearms. If the ground is too far away to drop onto forearms, you could stack your blocks underneath the forearms here, or books, or whatever it is that you're using. Anything that elevates the ground up to meet you. And then again, keep curling the heart forward between the biceps. Make sure the sole of the left foot can ground as much as you can. And then let the hips get so heavy as the gravity helps press that space a little bit more open. Stay in your lizard pose as is, or if you took variations, let's take the bind. Press the left knee away first. And you should feel it right here in the left glute, outer left thigh. You're on the outer blade of your left foot so that the sole of the foot has lifted off the ground now. You can slice the ground, bend your back knee, reach back with your left hand and take the bind. And again, if you get there and this is too much, then lift up onto the palm of the front hand instead of the forearm. Keep rotating the chest up towards the sky. Make sure the left foot is flexed really good here. Great, let it go. Unravel yourselves, everybody. Walk up onto your palms. Straighten both legs. Pyramid pose, Parshvottanasana.
So you can dial down the right hip here, but anchor into your right heel at the same time. So you feel a big old stretch into the right calf and the right hamstring. Good. Rebend your left knee, step it back, down dog, or plank pose if you need the vinyasa flow. Okay, right leg up, step it through, drop the back knee, half split, rebend your right knee, dip the pelvis a little more, point your left toes, straighten your front leg, half split. One more time, rebend the right knee, straighten your front leg, half split, and stay. Option to start working your way into full Hanumanasana, full split. Right? So if you're going to split, maybe you could take blocks here under your hands as well. Those are great tools to have here. You start to just crawl your front foot forward, maybe just a little, and maybe this is where you stay. You can crawl your left foot back a little more, and then you can crawl your right foot forward a little more. And then you kind of look for that sweet spot where you can sustain and you're not holding your breath and it doesn't hurt, but it might feel intense, and there's a difference there, right? Or you can keep going, keep going, keep going, and see if you can come down into your full split. Again, blocks under the hands here. It's great if you're just lowering partially, or you can stay on fingertips. Notice where you're tensing up, whether it's in the muscles or in the joints or in the mind. Can you keep dialing down the left hip here instead of letting the left hip completely open? Good. Lift back up. Trickiest part to get out with these sticky mats is to find your way out of the split. And then everybody, all fours, hands and knees, drop your belly, look forward. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog, other side. Left leg rises, full breath in. Step it through for your low lunge, back knee down. Point the right toes, half split, straighten your front leg and fold yourself down, left hamstring. Good. Rebend the front knee, let the pelvis dip down a little more. Again, if you need the blocks already here, then take it. And then straighten the front leg. Okay, we're just kind of greasing up into the space here before we go for the full Maha pose. Rebend your left knee, pelvis dips. One more time, straighten front leg, half split. Rebend. And then half split. This can be where you stay. If you're going further, look forward, start to crawl the front foot forward a little more. Pause, see how you're doing. Maybe crawl it forward a little more, maybe a little more, right? And see at what point you reach your edge where you can sustain the shape so you can keep the right hip dialing down rather than completely rolling onto the outer left hip here, right? We want to try and press down to the top of the right thigh, keeping the pelvis trying to spiral forward in that neutral position to the best of your ability. It won't ever be fully neutral, but just trying to keep things in check a bit there. You can let your eyes shut. And then you can feel the sensations and sit in your sensations, sit in your emotions and your feelings. Process the thoughts that are rolling in and out of your mind right now. As they start to get crazy, bring that attention back to your breath. Let yourself know that everything is going to be okay. And then support with your hands. Gracefully or not so gracefully, find your way out of your split variation. All fours, knees wide, belly drops. Child's pose, Balasana. A well-earned, well-deserved child's pose. Surrender completely here into this fold. Let go of control of the body, let go of control of the breath.